One of the options we have to look at that Mrs. Folson's always been against is hiring paralegals. I think we need to consider that. Hiring paralegals to do some of the work that maybe we need fewer attorneys. We can hire a couple of paralegals, save the office some money, still keep the same quality of performance.
There's waste. We need to look for the areas where we can cut, and it may need to be cut at an administrative level. There's too many administrators in their office. There's too many people that have been lawyers for a long time that don't try any cases, and I think that's wrong. So that's one of the first things we'd look to do, is to see where we can find savings in there.
And the concern I had was that the rush to increase penalties on sex predators, while well-intended and while I wholeheartedly support it, I was worried that the kids were going to get caught up in the middle. If I'm looking at 25 to life, my fear was, what incentive do I have not to try every single case if I'm a defendant? It's not discretionary. If it's a child under 13 or under, and they're the victim of a sex crime, it's a Jessica's Law case. I don't get to discretionarily choose which ones to file J-Law and which ones not to. So I was concerned and expressed my concern back then. I stand corrected.
I'm all for Jessica's Law, always have been, never had any concerns about it. If the defense attorneys want to try cases, that's what I get paid to do. So I was never concerned about this law. I think it's something that we desperately needed in this state of Kansas and elsewhere, quite frankly.
I promise you is, instead of sweeping change and generalities, I promise to do for you what I have done every day during my career, and that is take on the hardest task that I know. And that's to look at each individual case on its own merits, on its own all fours. I always treat forgery cases this way, and all murders are treated this way. You look at each case individually.
The DA's office isn't just about high-profile cases. It's about prosecuting crimes that affect us on a daily basis. It's looking at what we can do with local businesses through code enforcement, maybe, that they're talking about. What can we do to protect local businesses, reputable businesses, against these fly-by-night operators that come in when there's storms? There's so many things to do. Mark is right. We can't do this in a 2-minute conversation. We need a culture change in that office. It hasn't changed in a quarter of a century. Okay? And so moving one person who only knows that system, and I've been out in other areas. I've been with the state, I've been with the federal authorities, with the Department of Justice. I've been in other places. And I'm willing, and I'm the only one publicly committed to making the change that needs to be made in that office. And I'm somebody that will bring the office back to what it's really about. It's about prosecuting crimes. It's not about high-profile crimes. It's not about anything else. We're electing the face of the people who's going to go after crimes. That's what we're electing, and that's what you'll get in me.